Meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren,
Ladies and gentlemen,
liebe Gäste,
honored guests, you will notice this throughout the day. Berlin is in an exceptional state. We have thousands of visitors, we have major events, and they will go on this night and the next days as well. We have live broadcasts, and we are in a very special situation. And tonight, the white balloons you saw will be released into the air, and this along the lines of the former border, and they will remind us of what happened 25 years ago here in Berlin. Because 25 years ago, a wall fell, but this wall did not only divide a city, but it divided a world. This was the beginning of the end of the Cold War. We're very proud that this was done in a peaceful manner. So I am very glad that we are all here today on such a special day. We have so many renowned personalities from science, from society, from all across the world, and that we are discussing here what you can read on the cubes. Which are the next walls to fall? So those who came up with the concept for this event, I owe them my greatest gratitude. So thank you to Mr. Turner and Mr. Mlünek. The pictures and images from back then were sent around the world. People were enthused, they were in tears, they were falling into each other's arms. And of course, everybody was surprised. Why are they just so delighted? What is so crucial about this? For somebody like me, it was inconceivable that something like this would happen in my lifetime. And this wall was not only a symbol, it was a material wall. It really locked in an entire people. So if we will see the balloons rise tonight, then we should also think of those people who died on the death strip. They were killed, they were shot dead. Let me just mention one case. We have did research and investigated into all victims of the war. Two young men, they were 16 years old. It was in the early 70s or 80s. They wanted to go away. They were Berliners. They were not political. They just wanted to go away. They wanted to afford nice trousers. They wanted to listen to the music they liked. And because they were Berliners, they tried to overcome the wall. They were seen, they were shot at, and one was severely injured. He was taken to hospital, and nobody heard of the other one. There was no news. And just some time later, his parents received a box with his ashes, with the ashes of this young person of 16 years old. This was the GDR. We're not only talking about those who attempted to escape. There were also repression activities taking place in the country, especially young people who did not do much. They just sprayed "We want freedom" onto walls, and they were in prison for 6 years or more. And today we have many mathematicians, many physicists amongst us. And I'm aware that many of you might know about Eberhard Zeitler. We know all the standard literature, monotonous operations, and others. This person, Eberhard Zeitler, he was sent away from his university. He was thrown out of his university in a big public event because he made one critical remark on the state party. And later on, he could study because professors, courageous professors in Leipzig were fighting so hard for him, were supporting him. They rallied so much, and this is why he could finish his course and obtain a degree. But many others could not. They were not allowed to. A very close friend, a mathematician as well. In 1982, he was asked to come to the state security. He was a normal person. He had not done anything. He just read books or listened to the radio programs, and he never returned. He was gone. He was here in this city in Berlin. This took place in 82. And all of a sudden, he was gone without a trace. So with his wife, who was my friend, We went to the police station and we wanted to report him missing because Thomas, he was just gone without a trace for 10 days and more. But they did not accept this. The police did not want this. When they said he was last seen at the state security, they just said, go away. And this in the middle of Europe. Many believed we were a civilized country. Thomas, the mathematician, a few days later had been hospitalized in the Charité hospital. He never became better again. He always suffered from a brain condition, and in 1989, in January, he committed suicide. All of this is the GDR. And you might wonder why people wanted to stay there. And I think this was very nicely said by Wolf Biermann in his line of his song. I would like to go away, but I would rather like to stay. And this was the ambivalent situation. And because it was like this, because we wanted to make a difference, so many people dared to take to the streets back then. And our fear, the fear of my husband and myself, the major fear we had was our fear for our children. Because in the GDR, you have to know, when you were an enemy of the state, and you could quickly become an enemy of the state, then they could take away your children. And you had no right to get them back. So we organized that whenever something would happen to us, the kids would be taken to grandparents through our unpolitical friends, even though this would have been maybe in vain. And of course, this is a conflict. And, you know, you might always say, this is something you can survive, but you don't know if your children will. So maybe you can understand that what we achieved in 1989, with the help of many, also in the neighboring countries in Europe, was most important and was most beautiful. And most beautiful of all was freedom. And especially because we are so delighted about democracy, we must, and I'm saying we must, we owe this to everyone. We need to show solidarity with those who live under the same conditions as we did back then. So this is a call upon all scientists, all scholars, because science has a special role to play in this process and special opportunities. Research needs freedom, ladies and gentlemen. So I would like to encourage you, and I would like to say to you that big transformation processes can happen. We can overcome major hurdles, we can make walls fall, if we dare to do those, to take those little steps. Back then, we had only a very few candles, and then this turned into a sea of light. This is why I believe that even walls that seem unsurmountable can fall across the world, together, through courage, through inner peace and trust. Thank you.